Now at 5 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, details on an arrest in Goliad tied to a Mexican smuggling ring. Plus, the new Mission Valley Elementary is nearly finished and there's a surprise addition on the way. Plus, new surveillance footage captures the terrifying moment a tourist helicopter disintegrates mid-flight and plunges into the Hudson River.
We had a weak front move in today that calmed our winds down here a little bit, but what does that mean for this weekend? We'll have that coming up.
Plus, first and second graders get a special treat cheering on the UHV softball team thanks to a program that's been making a big impact for 17 years. You're watching 25 News now at 5. Good afternoon and thanks for being with us. I'm Shawna Currie. Goliad County Sheriff's deputies arrest a man they say is connected to a Mexican smuggling ring. 25 News Now reporter Trenton Whiting joins us now with more details. Trenton?
Yes, Shawna, the sheriff of Goliad County is reporting the arrest of a Francisco Hernandez Correa in connection with the smuggling ring. Hernandez Correa is reportedly in the country illegally from Mexico, and he faces counts of human smuggling and engaging in criminal activity. His arrest is part of a large-scale investigation into what the sheriff's office believes is an organized smuggling operation. Sheriff Roy Boyd says they've secured and executed several warrants throughout this investigation, making Hernandez Correa the 4th or 5th arrest connected to the organization. He's being held in the Goliad County Jail with $100,000 bond. Hernandez Correa also has an ICE detainer, meaning the Department of Immigration and Customs will look into his deportation after he serves due process in Goliad County. Shawna?
Thank you, Trenton. A correction to a story we reported last night. The case against Ramon Palacios is not set for trial yet. His next court date is May 8th, which is a pre-trial hearing. The jury trial that was scheduled for August 11th is actually for Rafael Romero. That's the man accused of killing Edna cheerleader Elizabeth Medina. The new Mission Valley Elementary School is almost ready. Construction is now 90% complete. According to Victoria ISD's March administration report, the project is not only on track, but also staying within budget. On top of that, the district earned more interest than expected on funds that had not been used yet, which means that there's enough wiggle room to add a brand new playground to the campus. Voters approved the $25.845 million bond to build the new school back in 2021. A ribbon cutting and open house are set for May 22nd. The Texas House gives the green light to a $337 billion state budget, but not before more than 13 hours of debate. One of the biggest chunks is property tax relief. Lawmakers approved $51 billion for it. That's about 15% of the entire budget. It's a big boost compared to the last 2 years with $11.2 billion more in relief. The budget also keeps the $100,000 homestead exemption in place and adds nearly 7 cents of rate compression to help bring down property taxes even more. The new House-approved budget also puts a big focus on education. It includes $7.7 billion in new targeted funding for K-12 schools, plus $63 billion to fully fund student enrollment, tied to the House's school finance bill making its way through. The budget also sets aside $1 billion for school choice through education savings accounts, $400 million for school safety improvements, and $450 million to help lower health insurance costs for Texas teachers. So this brings us to our viewer poll today. Which do you prioritize more? Is it property tax relief or public education funding? We want to hear from you. Visit crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part or scan the QR code there on your screen. And right now, 80% of voters say property tax relief is more important to them. So we'll continue watching those bills as they go through the legislature and continue voting. We'll have the latest on 25 News Now at 6. Now to that helicopter crash in New York City, a tourist chopper plunging into the Hudson River, killing a tech executive and his family, including 3 young children. ABC's Morgan Norwood is in New York, Lower Manhattan, as investigators work to determine what went wrong.
Chilling new surveillance video showing the moment this tourist helicopter broke apart, falling from the sky and into the frigid Hudson River. Witnesses describing the scene.
Crackling, looked up, and I just see a plane falling apart. The tail came off, broke off, and then the plane just tumbled into the water with the propeller still in the air.
In this video, you can see the chopper tumble toward the river, parts flying off before the fuselage hits the water. A second video showing the propeller coming down after it.
Everything depends on that rotor and the blade arrangement staying together, and they normally, like 99.99% of the time, do. But if you ever lose that, you become a ballistic missile rather than an aerodynamic one.
It was on its sixth flight of the day and had taken off from the heliport at the southern tip of Manhattan just before 3 in the afternoon and headed north. Charter company New York Helicopters was operating the flight. The CEO saying his staff is devastated. Last night, a crane lifting the wreckage of the helicopter out of the Hudson River. The NTSB examining the debris.
New York Police Department is still diving for components and pieces of the helicopter that we are still looking to recover.
And now more details are emerging about the victims. Agustin Escobar, a top executive with the Spanish branch of the tech company Siemens, and his wife were killed, along with their 3 children, ages 4, 8, and 10. The pilot also died. And the mayor of Jersey City says the Escobar family was celebrating the wife's 40th birthday with that sightseeing tour over the Hudson. The 8-year-old would have turned 9 today. Morgan Norwood, ABC News, New York.
3 people are dead after a small plane crash near Florida's Boca Raton Airport. Cell phone video captured just before the crash this morning shows the plane flying erratically. Not long after that, a black plume of smoke can be seen on the horizon. According to local fire officials, all 3 people aboard the Cessna 310 were killed in the crash. 1 person on the ground was also hurt but is expected to survive. The FAA says the plane was headed to Tallahassee International Airport. Well, let's get a first look at our weekend forecast. Jacob Lozano is in for Mac tonight. And Jacob, does this look like a great weekend to get outside or what?
Definitely. It's going to be a bit warm though, but it is going to be clear and sunny here. And those winds actually have died down here. It's 86 degrees currently with calm winds, and that humidity is at 35%. Because we had a little front move into the area, and that has brought some more northerly winds. Even though it's calm outside, the winds are still coming out from the north. But this also poses a threat. We are going to see some fog potential as a high pressure system is going to be forming over the Gulf, and it's going to be reeling in moisture. But how dense is this fog really going to be? We'll have that coming up in our full forecast. Shawna?
The state of South Carolina is set to execute a convicted murderer that is on tonight by firing squad. In 2004, McCall Motti shot and killed an off-duty police officer. Motti chose to die by firing squad rather than lethal injection or the electric chair. His attorney characterized Motti's decision as choosing the lesser of 3 evils. Motti's scheduled execution comes soon after the nation's first firing squad execution in 15 years, carried out on March 7th, also in South Carolina. Nominations are open for the Star of Texas Awards, honoring peace officers, firefighters, first responders, and citizens seriously injured or killed in the line of duty, recognizing bravery in service to Texas. To read this full article, visit crossroadstoday.com. Another up and down day on the financial markets as Wall Street reacts to President Trump's tariffs. The administration says dozens of countries are eager to strike a trade deal with the president and vows that China will be among them. So far, China has not budged. ABC's Christiane Cordero has the latest from Washington.
A week of stock market volatility ends with a day full of ups and downs. JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon today said the economy is facing considerable turbulence ahead. Beijing overnight retaliated to the U.S.'s 145% tariffs on goods imported from China, with a 125% tariff on products imported from the U.S. China's finance ministry today downplayed the significance of the escalating tariffs, saying, quote, even if the U.S. continues to impose even higher tariffs, it would go down as a joke in the history of world economics. This morning, ABC's Rachel Scott asked Trump's top trade representative if there are any talks going on between the 2 biggest economies in the world.
Is the U.S. engaged in negotiations with China?
Not at this point. So is he waiting for China to make the first move here?
I'm not going to comment on communications that are happening or may not be happening, or either way. We'll leave it to our national security team to get these discussions underway.
The White House says more than 75 other countries have reached out to negotiate their tariffs.
Phones are ringing off of the hooks. They've made it very clear they need the United States of America.
U.S. consumer sentiment is down almost 11% in 1 month and 34% in the past year.
But we definitely think the economy is going to slow here because tariffs mean inflation, rising prices.
Analysts with investment bank UBS project the iPhone 16 Pro Max, which currently retails for $1,200, will jump another $950. Most iPhones are assembled in China. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
Duda Farm Fresh Foods is putting out a precautionary heads up about a batch of its ready-to-eat celery sticks, just in case of possible listeria contamination. The advisory affects more than 1,500 cases of market-side 4-pack celery sticks that were sold at Walmart stores in several states. All of those packs are already past their expiration dates and should no longer be on shelves, but there's a chance some folks might have stashed them in the freezer to use later. This advisory only applies to that one product. None of Duda's other items or other market-side products are affected. Some lucky first and second graders got a fun break from the classroom today, heading out to a field trip to cheer on the UHV softball team. The Hopkins Mentor Day event was held at the Victoria Youth Sports Complex, and it's all thanks to the help One Student to Succeed, or HOST program at Hopkins Elementary. For 17 years, the UHV softball team has been teaming up with HOSTs, helping students build their reading skills for 30 minutes each week. HOSTs instructor Felicia Sledge says it's heartwarming to see these busy college athletes make time to mentor young students, and the smiles on the kids' faces say it all.
Softball girls support us all year long, and so this gives us an opportunity to support them and cheer for them as well.
Sledge says children are rewarded with opportunities like these to see what success could look like. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Stay with us straight ahead on 25 News Now at 5. If you think your coffee habit is harmless, well, health experts say there is such thing as too much caffeine, and it might be more than just the jitters. Plus, John Bon Jovi's mission to feed those in need hits a major milestone, but not everyone's cheering for his pop-up kitchen in Toms River, New Jersey. From spring break to summer vacations, we're heading into the time of year when people like to travel. But if you're going a long distance, there's a potential danger that health experts say you should know about. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither talks to a cardiologist about how to prevent blood clots in your legs during long trips.
It's a season of travel, and whether you're vacationing by car or by plane, experts say long trips can take a toll on your body.
Blood clots are very rare with air travel, but they are not uncommon with long distance travel. you're talking about travel more than 4 or 5 hours.
Cardiologist Dr. Sumith Alady with Orlando Health says a blood clot can be life-threatening. Symptoms include swelling, pain, or tenderness in the legs, especially if it's in just one leg. Skin may also be red and warm to the touch. If you have these symptoms, seek care immediately.
If you delay that and if you take some time, then that blood clot may have broken off and you're giving a chance to develop a blood clot in the lungs, which is more life-threatening.
To prevent blood clots on long trips, a lady says to take breaks. In the car, stop every couple of hours to stretch your legs. On a plane, wearing compression socks can help reduce swelling and improve blood flow. If you can't stand up, you can also try calf exercises while seated to keep the blood moving.
You can do some toe lifts or heel lifts, squeeze your calves.
A lady says knowing your risk is also important. You're more likely to get blood clots if there's a personal or family history of them, or if you have weight or vein problems. Those who are pregnant or recently had surgery are also at increased risk. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The CDC says blood clots are typically detected through ultrasounds, CT scans, or MRIs. They're treated with medicines or devices that can dissolve, break up, or capture the clot. Too much coffee? It might actually be a thing. Millions of Americans start their day with a cup of joe, or several, but health experts say keeping caffeine under 400 milligrams a day is key. That's about 4 cups of regular coffee. But don't forget, caffeine adds up from things like soda and energy drinks as well. Registered dietitian Julia Zampano with Cleveland Clinic says too much caffeine can lead to jitters, headaches, and even mess with your sleep. If you're thinking about cutting back, do it gradually to avoid withdrawal symptoms. And if you still want something warm to sip, try coffee or even hot chocolate. Just check the label. A New Jersey mayor says rock star Jon Bon Jovi and his wife's charitable efforts are drawing people who are homeless to his town. Christine Sloan has the story from Tom's River.
Our 200,000th meal at the JBJ Soul Kitchens.
Jon Bon Jovi and his wife in March celebrating a milestone at their Red Bank and Tom's River JBJ Soul Kitchen restaurants.
Where those who are unable to pay volunteer their time. Those who can pay for their meal and donate to pay it forward.
The rock star and his wife in February opening a temporary pop-up kitchen inside the Tom's River Library. Michael, who's fallen on hard times and is unsheltered, tells us it's been a blessing.
Something that you feel from the heart where someone has done something for the community.
It's just a really nice place for us to, when we are hungry.
But the pop-up restaurant could be living on a prayer if the mayor of Tom's River has his way.
I definitely want it gone, and I want the county to stop dropping people off in Tom's River.
Tom's River's mayor tells me on the phone Bon Jovi's restaurant is making his township a haven for the homeless, claiming nonprofits are gathering people from across the state and bringing them to the township.
We certainly don't think that the library is a good place. The issue was never Bon Jovi. It was Ocean County Board of Commissioners who engaged with these nonprofits.
The Bon Jovis releasing a joint statement last week saying, quote, the JBJ Soul Foundation and JBJ Soul Kitchen are committed to ending homelessness through real solutions. We are not here to just move people around or force them into the shadows. Our foundation has built nearly 1,000 units of affordable and supportive housing.
One county commissioner says that the issue didn't start with Jon Bon Jovi's pop-up kitchen.
He's saying that incidents have increased. We have data that they have not increased. It is not a soup kitchen.
The commissioner also says the county isn't busing anyone to Tom's River and that Bon Jovi's pop-up will be at the library until May.
Temperatures were a bit warm today, but what is this weekend going to look like? We'll have that answer after the break.
Join us for this week's Community Crossroads, where we will hear from the League of Women Voters. We'll talk to a candidate for the Victoria ISD Board of Trustees, an extra fun free family event, as well as the possible transfer of the University of Houston Victoria.
I think that's probably the most important part of this, is the opportunity for more economic growth and prosperity in Victoria.
Well, good afternoon, Crossroads. It was a bit of a warm day as well as those clear skies, and honestly, I can't complain. I do need a little bit of vitamin D whenever I walk out the door, so a bit calm outside right now as that frontal system has just slowly been moving through the Crossroads region, and we've got another high pressure system that's going to be forcing some more southeasterly winds in our area, and that's going to bring up some of our humidity here. But we do have another low pressure system moving eastward, and it could be making its way down here in the Crossroads here later this week, where we could see some cooler weather perhaps. Now, calm conditions are going to be pretty reverent right now here in the Crossroads region, but those are going to pick up as we go on later into tonight, as those southeasterly winds are going to return and bring in some more moisture with us. But tomorrow morning is going to be a bit of a calm day, so we may have a threat of some fog, but the wind is going to be picking really back up here in the southeast, 16 miles per hour there in Goliad by the afternoon time, and by the evening, nighttime, it'll calm down to about 10 miles per hour, but it's really going to ramp up here for Sunday afternoon, where we could see up to 20 mile per hour sustained winds in the Crossroads. Now, temperature wise, we're going to be seeing 84 degrees here by noontime tomorrow, and we'll be getting up into the mid to low 80s across the majority of the Crossroads region. And by Sunday, we'll be waking up into the mid to upper 60s here in the Crossroads. But those temperatures are going to be jumping up into the 80s and maybe even close to the 90s in our outer counties here as we go on and through Sunday, as well as into Monday. Those temperatures are going to be ramping up again as we see 91 in Karnes City. So it's going to be a bit of a warm start to next week, as well as mugginess is going to be a big factor here. We'll see a little jump here on Friday, but it's going to be chowing up into muggy, into humid conditions. So do beware, it's going to be a little bit not pleasant outside from what we're used to, at least, because we just got out of these dry conditions, and today's probably going to be that last day of just very dry conditions here. Now, fog is going to be an issue as we go into tomorrow morning across certain areas. By 7 a.m. we'll start to see some decent fog, pretty widespread over not widespread, but in a shorter containment here along the Texas coastline, a little bit in Victoria as well. But by 9 o'clock, we're going to see that begin to dissipate, maybe even die off by that point. So fog's not going to be as big of an issue unless you got to wake up early and make a trip. So make sure you use those low beams as you get on through the morning time. Now, cloud cover is going to be rolling back in here onto Sunday, where we're going to see just a weak front begin to move into the area. And honestly, it's not going to make it down here into Victoria. It's going to stay well north of us. But Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we're going to see maybe a little bit of rain chances. As Friday, we're going to see a frontal system move in here, and well, kind of caps out there around Houston, but that's still a week away. So we will continue to be looking and monitoring this frontal system moving in here on Friday. But the UV index is going to be very high these next 5 days because of just the clear skies, the clear conditions, as well as just the hot sunny weather. So do limit the outdoor activity a little bit. We'll be at a 10 for the UV. And as well as if you're going out to the beach this weekend, we're going to see 76 out there in Port O'Connor. And honestly, it's going to be pretty calm out there with low rip current as well. So it's not going to be that bad of a day, but maybe a little bit chilly with the water temperature at 76. But honestly, at this point, I don't mind going to the beach. Now, if you're going to the Victoria West game tonight, first pitch is at 6 o'clock here, and it'll be 86 degrees and sunny. And by the end of close to the end of the game, we'll get down to 78 degrees here. So definitely, if you're going to check that out, it's going to be a bit of a warm one. Now in Port Lavaca for tomorrow, clear skies, 82 degrees with south-southeasterly winds returning at 12 miles per hour, and clear skies as well at 86 degrees. Winds coming out of the south at 12 miles per hour as well as here in Victoria. We're going to be a little bit in the warmer side in the mid 80s. But those next 7 days, let's just say it's going to continue being sunny. We're going to have some more of a coastal breeze blow in here Sunday and into Monday with those southerly winds. And we have that little front moving in here on Tuesday. That's going to drop our temperatures here a little bit, but those winds right there, obviously you can see that they're going to be blowing back out of the south-southeast with increasing our humidity in the area. So do be aware that it's going to be a bit dry, bit humid, as well as sunny skies for the next 7 days. But don't forget to scan the QR code for more weather updates on news and sports. We'll have more for you after the break.
And still to come, Americans are growing more anxious about their wallets. Plus, a new survey shows just how deep that worry goes. On Wall Street, markets closed in positive territory today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average gained more than 600 points. The S&P 500 gained 95 points, and the Nasdaq gained more than 300 points. Oil is up $1.41 to $61.48 per barrel. Americans are feeling pretty uneasy about the economy right now. A new University of Michigan survey shows consumer sentiment dropped 11% this month, the second lowest level ever recorded since the 1950s. Experts say concerns over President Trump's trade war and the threat of rising inflation are weighing heavily on people's minds. The survey was done before the recent delay on new tariffs, so it does not reflect any reaction to that move just yet. The U.S. dollar falls to its weakest point against the euro in 3 years. By 5 Eastern time this morning, the dollar had slipped nearly 2%, dropping to $1.14 against the euro. That's the lowest it's been since February 2022. The U.S. dollar index, which tracks the dollar against other major currencies, was also down 1.3% by that time today. This drop comes as trade tensions between the U.S. and China ramp up. Beijing announced this morning it's raising retaliatory tariffs on U.S. imports to 125%. Well, stay with us. You will not want to miss this next story. A woman's final wish brought 2 unexpected visitors to her hospital bedside. What happened next was pure magic.
Showdown that will reach your kitchen tables and homes as the China trade war heats up. What will it cost you? And will it all be worth it in the end? World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast.
A woman in Virginia battling cancer had one final wish: to see her beloved horses one last time. Hospital staff made that happen, bringing Princess and Stormy right to her window, then carefully helping her outside to meet them. Claiborne Miller Davis spent just a few minutes with them, a final moment of love, peace, and connection. Her family says horses have always been her greatest joy, and this visit meant the world. A last wish granted with grace, care, and heart. So that is pretty cool that they were able to do that.
Awesome.
So
very cool.
Yeah.
Well, those next 7 days are going to be a bit warm. Let's just say that 87 degrees is what we capped out at today, but we're going to see a little bit of fog here tomorrow morning, just for about an hour or two. That's going to burn off by 9 a.m. So starting from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m., there will be a little bit of fog, at least here in Victoria, and especially a little farther down south along the coastline. But winds are going to be picking up this weekend, as well as those temperatures. We could get up to 88 degrees here Tuesday, and a little front will be moving in here Monday night into Tuesday. So definitely just in the similar pattern of warm and sunny.
All right. If you're headed to the Victoria West game or any other baseball games this weekend, sunscreen and water.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here at 6.